Market Prep at the close. I'm Spencer. That's Joel. Wrapping up the week here. Joel, pretty quiet day. I mean, we kind of dipped a little bit into the afternoon. We bounced. We're off the lows of the day. All things considered, we're more or less unchanged on the day. Most sectors are green. Energy, technology are red. What are your thoughts on today?
What are my thoughts on today? I thought a few days ago or last week that we were in for some consolidation, some choppy trading ahead of the election. And it's just at a little lower rate or a little higher range than I thought it would be. We have less than a 30-point range today. That's much less than the 59 9-day average trading range. So we're just settling in and ahead of the election had the break, got through the close by a little bit through the daily pivot. Now we're back up 4.25, so kind of a nothing week. You have crude down 95 cents at 39.79. You have gold in the red by just a dime here at 904.50. You have silver in the red by 5.4 cents at 24.65 and a half, and Bitcoin doesn't look like it's going to settle over 13,000. The Bitcoin futures are down 230 at 12,925.
All right, we should probably start with Gilead here. The story of the morning during the show, and wow, I mean, can't catch a break.
No, not at all. And, we were wondering why it didn't rally yesterday. And now we know the reason. I mean, there was just selling interest in this thing. And boom, the buyers weren't there when the news originally came out. They let it fluff it up. And then they ended up slamming the thing. So just not a good day at all for Gilead. Cannot rally on supposed good news. So now flirting with that $60 level once again. So big red, ugly red candle there for Gilead.
Yeah, just wow. It's surprised to see that for sure. What about Snapchat here? Snapchat
Mm.
has not stopped. Up another 9% today. It it can't stop.
Yeah, and boy, oh boy, we had Mr. Newsom on the show yesterday, and it was trading around $36. And he said, "I like that gap. It's a beautiful gap and go right there. I have it documented down here on the bottom left chart." He said the rally will continue in a big way here. Ran into a little problems there at a whole number 43, but what do you expect after that kind of run? Just quadrupled here since the middle of since the March low. So not quite quadrupled, but great move for Snapchat and finishing near the high of the session.
Yeah, there's a couple more stocks on my list, but not many because I just want to go to the chat. Really
Sure.
quiet end to the week from what I'm seeing here. Steel was up today. Cleveland Cliff had earnings. U.S. Steel was up with that. There's a couple more that were up today. I saw Boston Beer Company up big today, like 17%. They had earnings. I think they had their best quarter ever last quarter.
Wow.
So good for them. On the downside, I saw Snowflake, I saw Virgin Galactic, I saw Solar.
Ooh, Snowflake giving it back after that big day yesterday. First Solar. I mean, these stocks have had some big runs, so not too bad. First Solar is not looking too bad on my chart.
No,
Just hanging up there again.
Jinko Solar is down.
Oh,
Uh,
Ginkgo Solar.
yeah,
Okay.
but
Boom, boom, boom. There you go. What do they have? Earnings or something? Bad news?
no, I didn't see earnings. It's not earnings on Jinko.
Oh, keep an eye on that $60 level tomorrow. Bounced off just above it on Thursday, bounced right off it today. So keep an eye on $60, Jinko Solar next week for you solar traders. Wow, this got to 90 this month? Holy mackerel. That got to 93 days ago? Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yep.
That's a pullback right there if I've ever seen one. What
Uh,
happened on Wednesday? What was the news on Wednesday?
let's see if there was a headline on Wednesday. Wasn't it? No, I was it the whole sector on Wednesday
I
or
don't know, boy. That thing's volatile.
yeah, well, the whole sector. I mean, First Solar was down on Wednesday. CSIQ was down on Wednesday. The whole sector was down on Wednesday. You pull up TAN, the ETF. The whole sector was down on Wednesday. It wasn't a Jinko thing.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, we know solar moves. When it moves, it moves. For a while there, it was TAN was the top performing ETF, non-leverage ETF for the entire year. It's obviously not now, but it was there for a minute. Okay, what about MGM? Mitch has been hawking MGM in the chat all week, and got a little breakout today.
Yeah. What was the news? They actually it broke out yesterday. It had the gap and go, and then continuing today. Was there?
Remember we had Las Vegas Sands earnings Wednesday evening, and I think then we also have Wynn.
But I mean,
no, we didn't have Wynn. Just Las Vegas Sands.
For it to move that much off the someone else's earnings,
I mean, it could also just be a technical thing, you know.
I don't know. To like be blah for this long and then get a pop. Maybe we'll see some news.
Mitch, what say you?
So what I say in this is kind of the story of DKNG and Penn investors rotating out, maybe getting some money into some of the other casinos. They're maybe getting a little push. I don't think these will run like Penn or DKNG, but I think it's just a little bit of a break in some of the high flyers. Grab some of the low ones, the value, let them come up, and then you'll see the high flyers come back.
Okay, you're coming up on a monthly level there. I did sneak over 25 in February, came back up near that area. So that'd be a clean breakout. I do see that, DKNG had a little problems earlier in the week. Penn is a little bit weak. So, yeah, just maybe a little rotation out of the leaders into the laggards here. DKNG giving back a little bit of yesterday's gains.
Pull up your chart so we can see.
Okay.
I want to go to the chat. There's a bunch of takers there. We were asked this morning. I think it was this morning. I wrote it down about Apple. I don't even remember if we covered it, but I want to do Apple now just because they report next week.
Yeah, we talked about this in the pre-earnings run, and it hasn't started yet. You had that 125. I mentioned that was right in the area of the pre-split close, and I don't know, just had to fill the gap from that week and just kind of coming back down to the 115 area. Just no real interest buyers here ahead of next week's report.
Yeah,
but that could easily turn up on Monday and race into the report. I think the report's Thursday night.
That's correct. All right. What else does the chat have on their radar here? Let me go here. Did I see someone mention Zoom? So let's look at ZM.
Okay, take a look at Zoom. Fall yesterday, really every day this week it's been down, and now you're finding a pair of lows in the same area. Oh man, it was back with these lows. I'll have to say, I'd be really careful if this thing can't hold 505, 503.47. I see a 506.50 low. I mean, it's bouncing, it's off there, good to go north as long as we hold that level. But I mean, when these stocks have these kind of runs, there just has to be some kind of pullbacks here. And I'll just draw that line right there, right across there at that's 496 is that low. So maybe give it to 500 here, but just to, pulling back, got almost to 600 on Monday, and just a little bit of profit taking. Nothing to get alarmed about.
What about Zendesk, which is a software name, but not one that we typically discuss on this show too much, which is why I want to bring it up now.
Okay.
And I think their earnings are coming up. Let me confirm that. Zendesk reports. Go to the handy.
You're giving me all these tough charts, man.
Zendesk reports Thursday, also Thursday afternoon, along with Apple and Amazon and Facebook.
What is this tough chart Friday here? I mean, you made your all-time high. You've come down. I mean, you got a clear line of support here, moving up against all these lows. So you can buy off that line there. Looks like it comes in at 107. So good to go north as long as we're holding 107. Maybe look for a little retracement if you do get a bounce ahead of the report. Basically a 7-point move. So 10, 5, 112, 113. I bet find some resistance there early next week if it does mount a rally ahead of the report.
We were asked about thoughts on the cruise liners, just to give you an idea of when we're going to get the earnings. Carnival, No, I think Carnival was already out. Royal Caribbean is out next week. They're Thursday morning, and Norwegian, I don't even have them confirmed
I
yet.
mean, if you want to be long these stocks going into the report, just hope they lose less money than they said, than they're forecasting. I just don't see how, with the way the situation is, how these going to have good reports. Full disclosure, I don't own them. Not thinking to own them until we get a little more clarity on the vaccine for the pandemic. But I
Well,
mean,
I guess the bull case is like they really can't go down because if they were going to go down, they would have already gone down. You know what I mean? They would have gone to the March lows. The Norwegian would have gone back to 7. RCL would have gone back to 1920. It's that, what is it, 64 right now, 65. So I feel like for all three of these things, CCO included, we're in these long sideways periods, right? And that's encompassed 2 previous earnings reports. So unless you think that the quarter is going to be like so ridiculously bad that the stock is going to really get punished again when it's already been punished, I can't see that happening. So I guess what I'm saying is I see no reason for the stocks to go down more, but I see no reason for them to go up more either.
don't ever say it can't go down more.
I'm not saying it can't go down more. I'm saying we've already had 2 earnings cycles since the crash in March and April. Unless you think that they're going to say something next week or whenever they report that is all of a sudden going to just change the nature. The market is pretty convinced, right? The market is in agreement that these stocks are all worth, they're in these tight ranges, right? So unless you think they're going to come out and basically say something that'll change the market's thesis, causing some dramatic move in one direction or the other, I just can't see that happening. And to me, it's just sideways until we get a vaccine.
Yeah, I'd say I agree with you. I mean, the fact that they have stopped going down, they're off the March lows, but it's just still not good. Maybe it's a reason not to be short them. Like, hey, the bad news is in there, but I don't know. I don't see how you can make an argument based on that they're good for longs. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, what else was in the chat? Wanted to cover DPHC. This is another one of those SPACs, right? I don't know when this is the deal with Lordstown. I don't know when it closes. It hasn't closed yet, right? I don't know when I would imagine it's closing soon because this was announced like several months ago now, this merger. So the new ticker will be RIDE, RIDE, but I don't have the date.
I mean, this one's not looking good ahead of the transition. And when I look at Helion and that other stuff, I don't know. You guys are the SPACs. Don't ask me about SPACs anymore.
That's true. That's true.
I'm sick of the SPACs. I've never invested them, and I don't understand them.
Yeah.
Looks like some people have gotten killed on it.
Yep.
You look like you did okay on it because you got out and you protected yourself. So
yeah, I ended up. I didn't really want to sell Helion, but I kind of got back into a corner. I felt like, and I did not think it would go down to the lowest.
Where'd you end up selling that?
Like 38, 37.
That's 38. One hell of a sell there.
Right. But if I had and then after I sold it, it went back up to 55.
Yeah, I know.
52 or whatever. Right. So these things, I mean, look, I think the trade seems to be over for now. Right. It was hot for a few months there. It was hot all through August, September, trades off. So
I mean, if you want to make a case here, there's 3 lows in the the lower 22 handle, 22.32, 22.04, 22.35. So if you're taking a long position here, you do have an exit point, and that would be under that area. But it's been a long decline. At least it stopped going down. So keep an eye on this one. If you want to, try here, risk a buck or whatever under those lows, or maybe get a little undercut and rally, something along those lines. There's always good. You can always put a trade on and get in, get out, but as long as you have an alternative plan.
Oh yeah, good point, Spinner. I want to bring this up as well. Google. That DOJ lawsuit did, at least in the short term, did not matter.
Yeah, and I mean, this stuff has been going on for how long, right? And I think that When was that? I'm not sure what day it was. Was it
What
this?
what
What
the
day was
lawsuit?
it that we had that headline during the show?
Well, the lawsuit came out. It was on Tuesday.
Tuesday,
Yeah.
right? And that's what it did. Put in a dump. Yeah. Next time they have a lawsuit, they hit it. Boom, buy the
Yeah,
dip there.
I
That's
guess so. So now we know when they announce all the lawsuits against Facebook, the antitrust cases against Facebook, and for all we know against Apple and whoever else, whatever other big tech
sue
company.
me. Yep.
Yeah, buy the dip on those. So, all right, I just want to run through quickly, if I can, some sort of a schedule for next week. Because
Okay.
like I said, there are so many earnings reports next week. Most of them, as we said this morning, are going to be on Thursday. At least the biggest of the big names are Thursday. I'll just quickly run through some names in chronological order, if I can, starting on Monday. I see
I'll hop in if I see an interesting pattern there or something.
NXPI is Monday. This is after the close. Gosh, there's like hundreds. Oh, Chegg is Monday. CHGG Monday afternoon. What else do I see Monday afternoon? Just really Chegg NXPI Monday morning. Monday is kind of is one of the later days here. There isn't a ton really on Monday. Tuesday it gets a little bit heavier. Let's see here. We've got just going through my Benzinga Pro calendar and trying to spot names as
I'll say this Chegg is got up near all-time high, real good support at 85. You got a seller here. Someone's trying to wiggle out of some big stock ahead of the report. You see all four of the last five highs for Chegg are right around $89. So keep an eye on that. Really 88.5 to 89. Good resistance if you're looking to peel out any ahead of the report next week.
First Solar Tuesday afternoon, Raytheon Tuesday morning. What do I see? Eli Lilly Tuesday morning, Harley Davidson Tuesday morning. These aren't super interesting names. So let me see what Pfizer is also on Tuesday. 3M is on Tuesday. JetBlue is on Tuesday. Really, like I said this morning, and I'll repeat it a million times, the big day is going to be Thursday. Oh, Microsoft is also on Tuesday. Microsoft is sort of the exception to the tech names next week. The rest of them, like I said, Apple, Amazon, Twitter, Google, Facebook, all Thursday afternoon. Pinterest is Wednesday afternoon, so we'll have that on our radar.
Oh wow! I mean, that's been running too with the that's been running ahead of its report. Just gonna have some high expectations. I didn't look at the Twitter lately. Let's see if that kept on going. That's kind of consolidating up here ahead of its report. What about our guests for next week?
Gene Munster on Monday, Bill Studebaker, who is the portfolio manager for Robo Global. That's like the Robo ETF, tickers ROBO. We've got the chief economist at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange on the show on Wednesday. On Thursday, we have two guests. We'll have Mark Chaikin at 8:15, and then at 9, we'll have a new guest who's actually a listener of the show who actively trades the election. And we'll let him explain how he does that. But that'll be a Thursday, and then I suspect Friday. Joel is Harsh Kumar from Piper confirmed for Friday?
Yes.
Okay. We'll have Harsh on Friday to break down the Apple report from the day before. And just real fast back to next week. Ford is next week, Thursday morning. ExxonMobil's Friday. What else do I see? That's the bell. So we're close here. Chevron is also with Exxon on Friday morning. We have GE next week, UPS next week, Boeing is next week, Merck is next week. Yeah. So a lot going on the earnings front next week. It is the heaviest week of the earnings period. That's the closing bell. That means we're done. Joel, how do we do?
Up 5 1/4 on the day. We were trying to get up to that intraday high at 34.60. Came up just a tad shy. But can end up green for the day, but red for the week.
All right, that'll be a wrap. Everyone, hit that like button to show us your support. We appreciate that. Please remember all the information from all of our shows from anywhere on our YouTube channel. All the information on all those shows are meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. Everyone, I hope you have a great weekend. We'll be back with you on Monday morning.